everyone, and welcome to this episode of One-on-One with Randy. Today we are here at Columbus Crew Stadium, which is the very first soccer-specific stadium in the United States, to learn about the sports industry. Throughout these whole episodes of One-on-One with Randy this season, we've been looking at a variety of industries. We know that the sports industry is one that a lot of students are interested in, so that's why we came down the road here today from campus to learn about what you can do to break into the sports industry. Hey guys, well thanks for joining us on this episode of One-on-One with Randy. The first question that we ask all of our guests is a simple one. If you could, tell us about the Crew, maybe something that our students don't know about this soccer team here in Columbus.
Sure. So Columbus Crew is the Major League Soccer team in Columbus, Ohio. We are very fortunate to be the first team in Major League Soccer history. And to continue on the team of first theme, we also had the first player we drafted in Major League Soccer, Brian McBride. Some of you guys may know. Represented the U.S. in the World Cup a couple of times. And then we've also had the first soccer-specific stadium in the country, which has then gone on to help MLS bring about 14 to 15 new soccer-specific stadiums in the country. So we're a very important factor in Major League Soccer and a pioneer, if you will. And additionally, we've won a couple of championships, including the MLS Cup in 2008. So that was a very exciting time for the club.
So the reason that we do these interviews is our students want to know how they can break into the industry, this one specifically sports industry. So if you could tell our audience a little about how they can find your opportunities. How do you go about recruiting staff, either for internships or entry-level employment?
I would say recruiting is the most important thing that we do here at the Crew. The people, the talent that we find, the training that we offer is really what provides any success that we find on the business side. Majority of our recruiting, I would say as high as 95% of it, is with college students. There's a good portion of it that goes through internships. We have a variety of internships, from actual sales internships where people write their own business plan and go out and sell tickets for particular matches, to in-office for a variety of different needs or skills, to a nighttime call staff. We post those jobs obviously through Ohio State Career Services, through Teamwork Online. We've developed relationships with a variety of universities, not just in Central Ohio, but throughout the Midwest. And then in addition to current college students and internships, a majority of our hiring happens at entry-level positions. We hire mainly through people that we already know. So we try to build relationships through internships when people are sophomores, juniors, seniors. And then our hope is they continue to grow with us and grow into entry-level roles. And then we also offer different meet and greet opportunities, networking opportunities, such as our sales training forum, our night sales team, and those are opportunities for people to get plugged in and connected with us.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. We do a lot of networking, and it's not through traditional means. I mean, we really go out and build those relationships with certain professors, certain departments, and different universities around the state. And one of the other things that we do is, we constantly go to career fairs, if you will, that are hosted by universities, but also job fairs that may be hosted by us at the Columbus Crew, or job fairs that are also hosted by several professional and collegiate sports teams around the state as well. So we've established a relationship with other entities, if you will, to try and get involved with some of the job and career highlights that they have.
So as a follow-up to our last question about recruiting, something else I wanted to ask was whether there was a particular time of year that the Crew goes about recruiting. A lot of employment or a lot of employers are on campus. For us in the fall, some in the spring. Is there a particular time that you look to recruit new staff, either for interns or for entry-level employment?
When it comes to entry-level employment, we are constantly recruiting, always looking for good quality people. I would say that we've tried to match, because we hired so many people right out of college, we try to match graduation dates with our heavy recruiting time periods, such as sales training forums and events, networking events that we host. We try to do 6 weeks prior to graduations. So that is normally our heaviest hiring times, because that's when most people are available based on the jobs we need. But we do these things normally 3 or 4 times a year, where we make more of a large-scale hiring, but at any given time we'll have needs, opportunities. So we're constantly looking for good talented people.
And to touch on the internships a little bit, we recognize that we're trying to get collegiate kids, so we try and mirror the schedule of the schools, if you will. So We traditionally like to get an intern in the spring, an intern in the summer, and then an intern in the fall, and not single interns. We're up to having 2 to 3 interns as well. And in conjunction with that, we're always looking for a handful of interns that can help on individual case basis. So match days, for example, we host a match here at Crew Stadium maybe once every other week, and on any given match day, we need a lot of different hands to help out with different facets of the organization. So internships throughout the year, but in-office internships usually in conjunction with the fall, spring, and summer time frames. So.
All right, so one of the highlights of these interviews all the time is talking about misconceptions that students may have about a variety of industries. And the sports industry, I think, is no different. So what can you tell us about some of those misconceptions that students may have about working within the sports industry? Because I'm sure it's not fun and games all the time, right?
Yeah, I always laugh when we see pictures of people that work for sports teams, or they're shared on social media or whatever it might be, and it shows them with a soccer ball throwing it in the air, or standing with a baseball bat on their shoulder, as if that's their image all day long, and that's what they do. I know for Vin and I in particular, working in sales and looking for salespeople, it is a sales field, and that's what we do, and it's very sales driven. And a lot of times during the interview process, we talk about characteristics of what makes a successful salesperson, and we say that you could be selling sales, you could be selling for a sports team, you could be selling drywall, whatever it might be, copy machines. It's sales. We're looking for competitive people that know. That are willing to make phone calls, set appointments, and do those types of things on a daily basis. We have a lot of fun. We're a young, fun team, fun staff, but when it comes to some of the overlap with some of the technical side or the sports side, it's a lot less than most people assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. I think what people kind of fail to realize is that this is ultimately, at the end of the day, a business. And we have our own business goals, sales targets that we have to hit, and so primarily that is our number one target. I know there's the glamour and glitz of the full stadiums and everyone cheering loud and getting excited when the ball hits the back of the net, but ultimately, in the front office, our goal is to make sure we hit our marks as well. So it is fun, but there's definitely a lot of occasions where the objective is to make sure we hit our targets, and that's a little bit different to what people may think. Additionally, a lot of the college kids typically like to think, that when we come in, we can go and do marketing, we can go do the fun advertising, everything with the brand out in the community. A lot of it is, a lot of the best ways to get into the sports industry is not only through marketing. It's one of many, many ways one can get in. So. That's one thing to keep in mind as far as misconception goes with the sport industry. So,
one important fact about that is that you're not always watching the game either.
Right.
So there's the excitement going on, there's the crowd, there's different things happening, but behind the scenes, you're preparing, things for halftime. You're working a sales table. You're working with customers. There's a lot of things happening during the match that that you don't necessarily get to enjoy. So your passion has to be for business, and your passion has to be for being successful more than your passion for the sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, guys, so the last question that we have for you today is a simple one, but it's also a really important one. What can students do to get on your radar? So they want to break into the sports industry, they want to get their foot in the door. How can they go about that? Networking oftentimes is very scary and intimidating for college students, but what are some tips you can offer them?
We're always looking to proactively find talented people and create opportunities to network with them. Mm-hmm. And so I would always encourage people to get involved in that, but to really reach out. It's very rare, maybe only a couple of times a year, that I'll get a call from a college student that asks to come in and meet with me or talk to me or chat with me. And we always are open to sit down and meet with people, because the types of people that are going to proactively call us and ask for an informational interview or just more advice are always the types of people that are the outgoing personalities that we ultimately want to hire. And it's always worth our time. And it's amazing that that people don't take advantage of those types of opportunities. When it comes to a company website, people's names are listed, emails are listed, general phone numbers. There's always ways to reach out and get in touch with people. Mm-hmm. And then there is opportunities that we set aside. We set aside networking events we set aside opportunities to meet with us. And the key to that, like I said, is that we want to meet people as well. So when someone comes up and introduces themselves or has questions, I always look at it as not just me providing information for them, but I really want to get information from them, and I really want to be able to meet those people. So someone should never be intimidated or never shy to approach anyone.
Yeah, and to that point, I think it's important to kind of build those relationships even on campus, right? So earlier we mentioned that we have relationships, the Columbus Crew, with people from different universities. So, the student has the capability of building a relationship with a particular professor, a particular department head. Chances are they're going to be building rapport with them that gives them the opportunity that should something come, on the plate of the professor, they can automatically think about that particular student they've got a relationship with. Additionally, I think it's important, we tell our salespeople this all the time, Clark and I, that you're always 24/7, you have to have your sales hat on. And it's very much the same situation. I mean, you're selling yourself, right, to the employer, so you should always have your sales hat on. And in that case, I mean, when you're out and about and you meet someone at a bar, or you meet someone at a restaurant, or you're on a plane and you sit next to someone, you never know, that next person could be your next employer. So it's always important to, align yourself as a positive brand, because you can always come across the next person who can give you an opportunity in more ways than one.
So Clark, Aiden, thank you so much for joining us today for this interview on One-on-One with Randy. It's really fantastic advice that you've given our students about breaking into the sports industry. So thanks again.
Absolutely.
Thanks for allowing us to participate.
We want to thank Clark and Avon and the Columbus Crew one more time for allowing us to come to Crew Stadium today to film this interview. Make sure that you check out more of One-on-One with Randy on our YouTube channel at Arts and Sciences Career Services, and also follow us on Twitter at ASC Career for great updates and resources. See you next time.